for from phase 2. And Moopy is the main tank. He's not going to be playing Bastion. You can't bait me. You can't bait
please,
me.
though. Just put Bastion up on the high ground. It's fine.
His ult may be called Configuration Tank. That doesn't mean the main tank's going to play him. Usually when people play Bastion, it's a flex support, right? You like see Boombox play it on Philadelphia Fusion.
Yeah, well, I guess it just gets kind of shared.
Yeah,
between the lot of roles.
We share custody of our beautiful Omnic.
If you nano him, he's pretty hard to kill because of his passive too. So he's pretty much a tank. He's pretty much a tank.
Triumph on their offense, going to go for this classic 3-3. Want to try and make sure they've got too much health for these snipers to chew through, but what you're watching for here is Awkward and Izzy. They cannot peek. They will be the most vulnerable to the long-range poke. Faye will actually survive a headshot from a Hanzo with 3 health remaining because of the armor that fills out Brigida's pool, so it's not quite as dangerous, but still, you don't want to be caught out with 3 health, and Awkward's going to swap over. In fact, everyone's going to swap over. It's going to be like a dive composition with a Moira.
Tracer, Sombra. Pretty nasty, although, yeah, he gets instantly discovered. As you can see, Pika just randomly spamming.
Big Mitsu's actually taking a little bit of damage here. Looks like he did actually get hit by the Venom Mine, so he will be revealed to it Sonics. He's going to know exactly where that's coming from. King tried to cover himself with a Sonic Arrow here, but that's going to very quickly dissipate, and then Mitsu will be able to make the crossing.
Oh, I like that. Faye actually with the grand bait. He did go into that small building and then just back straight out, waiting for those side tanks to actually jump on in. Discord order straight on to Matman though, and he does end up going down, but Pipimitsu just claiming a life of his own. 2-for-2 trade as Faye ends up falling as well, as Mystic just in a very, very bad position. He may be trying to kill the Mercy, and he did just that actually with the help of Awkward's Orb. That looked very bad for Mystic, but still somehow surviving. Nishik trying to get as much time as he possibly can onto that point, but Pipimitsu made that dive look so easy, and actually, in fact, Mystic also just moving himself towards that self-destruct.
Shout out to Awkward's Orbs right there, getting some huge value, removing the Mercy, just like everyone's going to be moving back to swap. It is going to be 3-3 versus 3-3. Awkward is actually going to stay on the Moira, however. They do know that they're going to be able to build up this Coalescence rather quickly, but Nishik's done a huge amount of damage and healing as well. He's actually ahead of Awkward in terms of ultimate charge, which is pretty uncanny for a Zenyatta. Some great accuracy from him, no doubt.
Awkward got the Coalescence too. I mean, you might as well just keep it for the time. There's that early self-destruct that got earned. Onyx absorbs all that in his personal barrier there. He's near 100% energy also. Nishik using that Transcendence really early on in the fight as well. With Mystic falling, however, this lands phase 2 in a bit of an awkward situation. There's still 5 minutes on the board, and they're trying for like on the point right now, actually contesting it.
They're going to potentially get a first sick here. Mopi lays down his shield and also gets some projected barrier from Onyx. Onyx got a lot of energy here to work with, but he's faced with a large shield of Matman, and Mopi's going to have to try and cleave on through.
Ooh, King finally comes back on in, almost killing Face straight up, but he activates that rally, gaining some additional armor, and one by one, Phase 2 members are just falling as soon as they step onto this point. Triumph really coming alive with that shadow in the backline as well. 2 ticks have been acquired, and Mopi actually manages to get back. Will be a defense matrix on the self-destruct.
On the Graviton.
Yeah, I was going to say, looks a bit strange, but apparently there's an ult key for that. I'm confused, sorry. Coalescence coming out. It's what it is. Oh my goodness. New casting on this new patch, by the way. Self-destruct onto the point, man's shield gets completely deleted. And Mystic landing that self-destruct kill onto Faz as well. They finally get the full cap. Triumph. They get there in the end. 4 minutes plus in their time bank as well, just there.
Alright, while Jaws recovers his brain, I'm going to break down for you all why that managed to work as well as it did. What happened is that we saw a deep throw of the self-destruct from Mystic. And what that meant was that he caught out Nishik, who had quickly built his Transcendence, and forced him that if he wanted to survive that, he had to use his Transcendence, because he saw that Nishik had actually moved forward onto the center of a point rather than staying up on the high ground. I'm not particularly sure why, likely to exploit some other angle. But because Nishik wasn't up on the high ground and couldn't easily access cover, that did mean that he was forced to use the Transcendence to stop himself from dying to that self-destruct. And because that Transcendence had been forced, it meant that Phase 2 felt that they needed to leverage the Transcendence that they had to move forward and use that healing to win out a fight. But Triumph, because they hadn't really committed anything but the self-destruct, they just backed away a little bit. They used their speed boost to move back out, and then they allowed for Matman to make an engagement with a charge, trying for that burst damage to go through the Transcendence. And because Phase 2 got so aggressive, they actually put themselves in positions where they couldn't leverage their defensive positioning and were exposed in the choke point, meaning that Awkward could also get a huge amount of value with his healing and his damage orbs. And well, when you're playing the Moira 3-3, you want to be able to make quick strikes and just dogpile onto one person because you have the healing to sustain through that for a little while. You don't have the healing resources or the damage to take these sustained fights when you're going up against a Zenyatta. So they just dogpiled onto people, then they managed to claim control of the point, and then staggered in. Respawns just couldn't deal with with Triumph's presence.
Well, that did give them an extremely big time back. 4 minutes and 48 seconds, nonetheless, Harry. Double DPS comp coming through from Triumph, or the boosted comp. So I'm calling it right now. Faye on the far right, and obviously Pibamitsu is going to be on the Ashe. That is not where you want to be, Mopi, and that is a very horrible situation for Phase 2 now to be in, just stuck in a small room with all of this fire coming in from Faye.
Yeah, potentially a poor shot call there, or someone not following the instructions. Already a barrage. Not going to catch out anyone this time. Nishik's actually going to be finished off by Matman, but still a kill's a kill. But now they do know they don't have to. What are you doing, Faye? What are you doing? Not like this.
Why did he dive that far? I just don't know. He actually used his concussive blast as well to actually get him closer to the action. Okay, like unreasable at this point, so Awkward and Pibamitsu are probably going to receive the healing damage boost for the time. Big dive onto the back line as Mopi does manage to help Pika kill off Pibamitsu. Izzy's going to fall also to the boop of Faz, and now Mystic, although he's getting D-Mech, should be able to stall out a little bit more as the rest of Phase 2 jump onto that point.
Oh, Icarus, we cry for thee, figuratively frying too close to the sun, and quite... Exactly, he was burnt away by Moopy with that Tesla coil. I can't help but feel that Triumph was so dominating on that first point defense. If they had not done what they did, I'll be nice. If they'd not done that, I mean, it would have been much easier to hold. But the second you don't have to worry about that Farah damage, you are also basically able to shield in one direction and just mitigate Pibamitsu's DPS.
Coalescence and on the first push as the grab finds two. Self-destruct as well is thrown in. Awkward with the trans. At least saves Faye, who actually used his own personal shield. Not quite so lucky was Pibamitsu. Awkward's going to fall as well as the self-destruct lands onto that point. King doing a good job of just blocking most of that damage, but Phase 2 just continue to roll on to second. They might have a bigger time back than Triumph, Harry.
Maybe Service could go into high scores here, Jaws. Pibamitsu trying his best to get away. Will actually be booped away by Velucio. Will try and return alongside Mystic. The tanks are going to be dashing around this point, but still, percentage is being acquired for Phase 2, and the respawn timers will get continuously longer.
Yeah, that they will, and Pig isn't it working towards another self-destruct. No real ults coming online for Triumph either. It's going to be a very vanilla fight for the time. Mei has made herself onto the point and made her presence known as they do manage to take her out as soon as the ice block melted away. Second tick has been acquired from Phase 2.
We will see Pibamitsu trying his best to stay in here. Matman once again on the scene with a bubble, but will be quickly destroyed. In comes a self-destruct.
It's not happening, mate. That self-destruct is, well, momentarily blocked out by Awkward there. He had to save himself with that Transcendence. Another Coalescence has been earned as the Primal Rage comes out also. Blocked out of the way, however, by his own Mei, blocking him from getting to the back line. That health bar is going to disintegrate inside that grab as well. 3 members caught up, and another Primal Rage as well from Matman, pushing everybody back. The Mei will just handicap him Triumph just at the very end as they do complete round 2.
Well, I hate to keep on it, Jaws, but what Faye did there with the first point basically meant that second point was gone as well. Because the second you've got a 5v6 against these squishy targets as a dive 3-3 composite, you don't need to invest any ultimates to win that out. And that means that if you don't have to invest ultimates to win that out, that you have all of those available for second point, and it was just overwhelming when Phase 2 came in. And somehow, credit to Triumph for their stall, they only managed to get a 4-second grander time bank than Triumph did, so Triumph will again have to attack first, but that could have been a lot worse for the side of Phase 2.
Well, they both gained an additional minute and 50-something seconds, Harry. Oh, dearie me. Sorry. Yeah. Additional. I mean, this is. Apparently, no one can defend on Vosk.
Well, I think they could defend, just if. And that's how complex a game Overwatch is, but one concussive blast basically gave the entire map away. Or the entire 2-point run. That's how much decision-making matters at this level.
He's not on Pharah, mate. He's alright.
He's not, but he is actually attacking this time as well. They're going to try for this kind of semi-dive they did before. Faye's going to translocate back. Will he swap over to another hero? Does look like he may decide to do so. He's going on Pharah this time.
Faye's on the Pharah. Okay. He's going to be a little bit more cautious this time with this concussive blast, you'd hope.
Maybe. He doesn't have to worry about Moopy on a Winston this time, which is apparently his worst enemy.
Yeah, to be fair, the D.Va did come up as well. In the skies also. Quad DPS, by the way.
Onyx may well here have to use his personal barriers to defend himself. Moopy doesn't know where to put his shield at the moment. Look, he's trying to shield out Faye, but he's got 2 snipers behind him who will just be layering all this damage into him the second he turns that around. That
D-Mech's pretty big as well. Pika was in cover and got D-Mech too. Pippa gets taken out by the Lucio, of all people, gets taken out by the Lucio at long range. Who knew that Lucios were super effective against the Widowmakers? That's a lot of fire coming in from Pippa. That'll be the Wrecking Ball trying to contest, but Moopy just standing his ground on this point here.
JPEG of that kill feed's going to go on Twitter later from Faz, no doubt. Moopy's almost ran out of shield, however, we'll have to retreat. Here comes for Dragon.
Oh, the barrage, but look at that Transcendence timing from Nishik. Extremely quickly. Pika's mech gets destroyed, but it is a 1-for-1 trade as Matman ends up going down. Now it's only DPS players, Harry. They can't potentially touch the point. Faye working himself towards another barrage. There's a couple of ults online. The EMP's going to have to be big. It manages to catch 4 people, but Faz hiding away manages to connect the sound barrier with everybody that was in.
May well be equal trades, but none of these guys can get up onto the high ground. Faz may well be able to make a break for it, but Onyx certainly can't. He'll have to use that mortar jump potentially, and Faye has got the only point of ingress. Locks on down with these rockets. Going to quickly build up towards this next barrage.
All right, they finally managed to take a tick even. Matman ends up going down.
Stop. Just outsnipe the supports for him.
Why are you dying to supports, bro? That sucks. I mean, Zenyatta, like, fair enough, but Lucio too?
Lucio?
That's a big yikes. They managed to defend, by the way. Half the time, Bankers almost disappeared from Triumph. They're going to go into it and potentially swap Faye out completely, foregoing the barrage, just straight 3-3.
Straight through 3. They've had enough of this. They thought... I was surprised it took them so long to leverage the advantage they had in terms of crossfire, but now they have an advantage in terms of a main tank. Moopy's been forced to move over onto that Wrecking Ball, and now won't be able to offer the shield that Matman can to his team, so Pika and Onyx are going to be very, very easy to pin down.
King as well. They've already used the secondary barrier on the Xayah on the side of phase 2. They've got to be a little bit more careful now. I say that as King just rushes on forward and Moopy just swinging on around. Gets the melee kill onto Matman. Quick reset from Pibamitsu though. I'm gonna still have a little bit of time to play with.
So Moopy there made a very intelligent call to rotate around the central house because Triumph wanted to put themselves up on the back corner so they were not close to anywhere that would really knock them off, because that's the main danger from Moopy. But Moopy coming down for a non-knockoff sort of knock through and put everyone to be strewn around the point did mean that the shot calling broke down. Everyone went in different directions, forcing people like Izzy to be in a place where they could be knocked off by Moopy, who's now ready to engage with a pile driver. Here it is.
Look at those ults from phase 2 though. The pile driver comes in as well as those mines, nearly on top of the Graviton Surge. Moopy finds a couple of kills. Faz finds the rest. Will be phase 2. Continuing to hold, Harry. They got a minute left. Triumph, remember their entire wholesale swap off of their comp has netted them 0 ults thus far. They just cannot make anything stick. And phase 2 still have a couple to work with.
I don't understand how it's taking Pibamitsu so long to build up a Graviton Surge when there's no consistent shielding that he has to worry about. He can just farm Pika or Onyx forever at this rate. He's going to use a personal barrier early here, so he isn't going to have so much energy to work with, but Matman going to be boot back before he can put himself on the point. Moopy already going to be dueling out with Mystic.
Self-destruct from Pika is available though, Harry. Same with that rally. There's the pile driver straight on in, and not quite connecting with the self-destruct either from Pika, but the first ultimate online is going to be Transcendence for Triumph, as they do use it almost instantly. Nishik now has got the healing advantage for the rest of his team. The Shatter is going to hit the floor, but 2 people only go down, and as well as the sound barrier coming through also to keep them alive. The Graviton Surge in the back line might be all that they need. A Graviton Surge mixed with the self-destruct. Mystic with the 2k. They finally managed to get at least another tick on this point. They win the team fight, but with fractions of a second left.
Okay, they may have fractions of a second, but they do have a sound barrier and a rally. This is important because Phase 2, they know that they've invested so many ultimates in that last fight. And with Moopy switching over from that Wrecking Ball to the Reinhardt, they won't have anything more. They can control the aggression in this fight. Faye can bring them all in, and Izzy can hammer on with that sound barrier. If they need to go all in on Moopy, they need to destroy him. They need to absolutely disintegrate Moopy, otherwise this is not going to go their way.
There's the rally from Faye. Izzy has got the sound barrier too. The beat comes through from the Lucio, and Moby going extremely low. Has to back off for the time being as they do battle it out. Awkward though, just taking names and numbers as he takes out Onyx and Moopy. And now look at Matman just in the front line, swinging away, can block the rest of Phase 2 from coming on into this point.
That's exactly what I needs to do, just rush on Moopy with a double support ultimate, and Awkward now can pile on with his own Transcendence. He knows he doesn't need to counter out Nishik here. There's not enough damage to make this Transcendence worthwhile. With more people returning, this is Awkward's moment.
Grab onto 2 people, mixed with the pile driver, but there's no damage follow-up. Even less now as there's a Transcendence from Awkward. A Self-Destruct launch high in the skies. The Graviton Surge got eaten from Pika. This could be Phase 2's actual final stand. The Shadow lands, though, coming through from Matman. It hits 3 people, and Onyx gets cleaned up. Matman still cementing himself on the point as Mystic uses his own Self-Destruct to clear everybody away. A couple of percent is all they need to actually complete the map as King ends up falling as well. Moopy's making his final stand as Mystic and Faz are just trying to keep him alive. The mines are on the ground, but Orphe just clears them all out with his own pile driver. There's only one member left. It's the Tracer. She ends up falling, and Phase 2 forgoes second as Triumph managed to cap the last point in overtime.
It is going to be in overtime, Jules, but the important thing was that with 30 seconds, they did get the full complete. And I've got to give credit there to Izzy and Faye for holding their cues in that first point attack, because I know that when it's overtime, even if it does like you're gonna win, it can be stressful to not use that ultimate and basically guarantee yourself a point. But having those 2 support ultimates when Phase 2 invested so much in trying to stay there did mean they had that advantage and could just run over Moopy. That was exactly what they needed, because Moopy had to come back on the Wrecking Ball because it was already it was a mess, Jaws. It was a mess. And he had to come back and try and knock people around. He couldn't give that shield over to Pika and Onyx. And Pika, to his credit, was clutching up, trying to make it work. Got a kill with a self-destruct, 8 Pibmitsu's grab, but he can't stay in his mech for long because there's no shield there to defend him. And, well, Pibmitsu's just going to farm him all day long with that laser.
All right, now is the defense for Triumph. They're running the same comp they did last time around. Faye is definitely not going to use Concussive Blast into Phase 2 spawn this time. That is something that's not going to happen. I'm sure Izzy's giving him some strong words.
Izzy's repurposed that damage beam as a leash. Come back here.
No.
Bad Pharah.
That would be really cool if you could do that. If it like Hog Hook worked on allies, that would be super cool.
Hashtag rework Mercy.
No.
Oh, we were talking about the Mercy beam though. Hulk Hook working on allies, so it would be pretty cool.
It would. I don't want to give Mercy that much utility.
You'd have to like opt in terms so that you can't get trolled.
Oh yeah, actually that would be mega troll. Yeah, I didn't actually think about that. I'm not much of a troll online. Come on.
Thinking the best of people, but Matman's thinking the best of what ultimate charge you can get right now. Going to be cleaving in here. There's a dynamite. Will not be blown up naturally, but will be blown up eventually by the fuse. And it does look like Phase 2 are doing a much better job of moving together right now against this composition. Moopy hasn't been isolated this time and will have time to rebuild the all-important shield.
It's so satisfying hitting dynamite on a few people as well. That ticker noise you get is just stupendous. Oh, nice boop onto Moopy. There's the barrage. No shield available for the rest of the team. Uh-oh. And Pibmitsu just cleans up house. Moopy's like, oh, I guess I just die? All his team died instantly on top of the roof.
No shield, no Proldon for Faye. That's a huge amount of damage right there. 4,000 damage coming out of a barrage. 5,200 if he's got the damage boost, which I'm pretty sure he did. Nishik tried to pull him out of the air with that Coalescence, and we do actually see a full sale swap here from Phase 2. King's back on the Genji. We saw this before on Horizon Lunar Colony. It's Onyx going to be trying to hack either Izzy, Mystic, or Faye, no doubt, but Pibmitsu almost has Bob ready to go, and the hack could shut down Bob very quickly. What is it, a 6-second duration?
It's a long time.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. Hack. I mean, well, no hack. available onto the tanks right now. She's not really in position to do it. King's actually on the Genji instead. Still has to tussle with Bob, who's going to get unleashed anytime soon. Nishik takes first blood on this side.
Oh,
He's
okay.
dead. Onyx is also dead. There's Bob coming out onto the point. Fast tries to get the boot, but actually boots him into a better position than he once was. Faye gets resurrected as Izzy came to his rescue. There will be a couple of ults for Triumph for this next push. They're gonna Phase 2 are gonna need to EMP Blade or EMP Nano Blade at some point because there is nothing stopping Faye and Pivot right now.
So there was a really interesting continuum of events there. Nishik shot down Faye, and Faye fell where Onyx was. So Onyx was going to wait for Izzy to come in and try and get the resurrection and then hack him. But Izzy saw that coming and actually backed off after Onyx came out of stealth and allowed Moopy to jump onto him and get that kill. Or rather, allowed
Faye's
Batman
on the
to jump
flank.
onto him.
No, he's okay. Izzy is there, using that leash. He's going to get 2 kills as well. And King and the Ana. Nishik falls. Awkward actually felt so pressured there, forced to use the Transcendence really early on. Still 2 minutes left of the game, and they're not going to have that for Nano Blade now. That's coming up momentarily.
Yeah, that's not ideal right here, but the question is, will Phase 2 be able to use a minimal amount of ultimates to try and take this here? Like you said, Awkward and his Transcendence here were the main tool that Triumph wanted to use to try and mitigate that Nano Blade. So now, it may well be down to Faye. They may try to get King to use his Reflect early by sending in some long-range damage his way from Pigmitsu and Faye, and once the Reflect is gone, they can try and get rid of him using the Barrage instead. Or potentially they can target Nishik in the back and make sure that Nano isn't available, but then you've still got to worry about the EMP Blade.
EMP straight up in the air as well if they manage to catch Faye. Oh,
Hallelujah.
Nishik in the back line's down already. King gets the dash on him, so he's going to have to get a reset. The Blade's coming in more vanilla this time, trying to find Awkward in the back line. He's taken on a little bit of a wild goose chase. A couple of resets later, though, and the rest of the team are going to die. Minimal ults is what you wanted to see, and that's exactly what happened. King using the Blade and Faz using that beat in that engagement means they have 4 ultimates to push on to second.
This is the greatest way that Phase 2 could have taken this, only using 2 ultimates. It does mean that they can go for EMP into Nano Winston in their next attack. And, well, Awkward's going to have to swap over here to the Moira. And, of course, Moira is incredibly vulnerable without the Fade if she gets hacked. If you can catch out Moira first here, it's going to be all about Mystic and Matman trying to control the positioning of Moopy. If Matman doesn't get hacked, he needs to use his Primal.
4 people EMP'd, but Bob was not, and neither was Ash, so she sends him out. Self-destruct landing into the back line, killing off Awkward. King receives the just the nano boost. He hasn't got a blade, but he's going to be able to farm 1 so quickly now. Self-destruct onto the point to push everybody away, and Matman actually giving the hands to the back lines. He kills 2 supports with a Primal Rage.
You get that boy mad. He is going to throw hands. Triumph holding firm on the point. Somehow, some great utility from the Bob before it was hacked up by Onyx did actually ward a couple of people away, and you do run that risk when you don't have the mech because you use self-destruct, but you don't have so much staying power on the point, and you can't really leverage the space that you gain. And look at how aggressive Triumph are now being. They don't want Phase 2 to have any advantage in terms of positioning. No
space whatsoever. Do Phase 2 want to give up? So they're just moving straight onto near the point. Triumph only have 1 ult available. That is going to be that rally. And Faz having his sound barrier now is going to push them forwards. Matman is going to be the main initial main recipient of all that damage. Misty was nowhere near him. Couldn't really defense matrix any of that incoming fire from Onyx. Onyx killing 2 people as Pivmitsu goes down as well. We're in overtime, Harry, and 2 ticks have been gained.
Could be overtime to overtime. Phase 2 are in control and Triumph are going to try and make a re-engagement here. Phase on the point with Izzy above him, and Awkward has returned alongside for Reinhardt. Matman's back, and there's the Transcendence, but it's too late.
It's on the point, keeping everybody alive. Pivmitsu is going to get sent to the floor. That self-destruct high in the sky to clear everybody off the point. Pivmitsu's now on the Tracer, but who is he really going to kill? Everybody's just so swole now with armor that there's not really much the Tracer could do. Izzy is back on the point as well. 2 ticks, maybe a 3rd here as the Lucio was eventually cleaned up. It's OT to OT. Both teams are going to have 1 minute to attack with.
2 swole for Tracer with that sand barrier. Just like we're going to be going for a minute to a minute. Will we see the fabled 6-6 scoreline, Jaws, is the question. We haven't seen overly speedy first point attacks from either of these teams in our second time around, so potentially the iteration on defense is getting better and better, and we might actually see a draw if neither of them can pick up first point or even the first tick.
Yeah, whoever does pick up the win, though, in this game will find themselves in match point in the series. They're still fighting for that first win. Triumph especially. Only won their first match of trials today in this series as well, so it will be a big boon for their confidence also.
for sure. Phase 2. GNU coming out first on the defense. Triumph once again will be setting the pace for today. And some would say that's quite a disadvantage despite the shared time bank of 1 minute. By having to set the pace here, it does mean that if they don't gain any ticks from Phase 2, can try and do something a little bit more cheesy to get themselves a tick, like a Bastion with a teleporter or something. When you're not thinking long term, you're thinking, how do we control this point for like 5 seconds?
How do we control the point? I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know, maybe 3 tanks and 3 supports.
Would you look at that? It's like you're a mind reader. Or you can just look at the comms that are on the screen.
Yep, Nishik going to be on the defense once again with the Moira. This could have actually been a bait from Triumph, thinking that they know Phase 2 want them to bring out the DPS here. They're going to have the inherent advantage in these long fights. It will have to be down to Phase 2 to make surgical strikes using this greater healing to dogpile on one member of Triumph. If they can't do that and they are forced to take an extended fight like they may do, if Triumph are up on the high ground, they will end up losing.
This is such a nice position too. If you're Triumph, you can just leave the Zen on the high ground, and Pika has to use those thrusters to get up there. He's already used them, so Awkward is completely free now. Man can just bundle on to Mopi, who has that Discord Orb applied.
So much damage going to be coming out from Awkward right now, already halfway towards his ult, and it's an all-out brawl. Moopy and Onyx. One
King
after
is going to go down as well. That's what happens when you leave Awkward up on the high ground. Those long extending engagements always going to favour the Zen comp. Nishik is 75% towards that Coalescence, but I can imagine he's going to switch over. They're going to be able to cap first. Triumph are going to have 30 seconds now to get to that last point.
I'm a big fan of that rotation there from Triumph, making sure that Awkward would be in a place where he could not be challenged. They knew that they needed the long fight, and to make that long fight happen, they had to have Zen in a place where he could not be attacked. And they also managed to force out Pika with those boosters, meaning that they weren't available to challenge Awkward. And now look at all of these ults that are available for Triumph. They are going to have Earthshadow versus Earthshadow, but Nishik's going to have to get some huge value out of his Coalescence if he wants this to carry on.
Yeah, Moby's only 2% away as well from his own Earth Shatter. That one gets absorbed straight to a shield. King uses that rally. Another Shatter comes out. It lands one person at least this time. And the D-Mech actually onto Mystic also. A Transcendence cancels out a lot of that damage coming through from the Graviton Surge, but so does Phase 2. They throw one in and they just get cut apart by Faye and Pibamitsu. A self-destruct onto the point, but Triumph, they potentially already won this fight. It's only Pika now left. He's going to get demeched and killed off. Now it's all up to Phase 2 to try and stall for as long as they can to try and clutch a semblance of this last point.
It's overtime. Overspawns are going to be long, and they're going to be even long with all these guys on the point. Here comes the self-destruct. Will it catch anyone? Two!
No! Onyx goes down as well. He's in midair. May goes into the ice box. She's going to have another wall available to stall out for a little bit longer. Manages to stun out Batman. Gets the complete freeze. But Mopi just runs head-on first into Batman and gets killed off. That Coalescence doing absolutely negative damage right now. A beat might just save it all though, but the problem is Triumph are strong in numbers. They have 6 people on that point ready and raring to go.
King tried to isolate Mystic, but it wasn't going to work out. Faz is still up in the corner, dashing around here and there. He's playing the music, Jaws.
Awkward's going to take his life away. Same with Faz. They find the 3 ticks that they needed. And Triumph, with only a minute in the original time bank, managed to cap the second point.
Could it be 6-6 at the end of this? Phase 2, the onus is now on them. I talked about Triumph being the pace scar and how if they couldn't get a tick, then Phase 2 had an inherent advantage. But what advantage, Triumph say? They managed to take the high ground. They managed to very easily play around their compositional advantage, having the Zenyatta versus the Moira. In Phase 2, their bluff was called. They pulled out the Moira because they thought Triumph were going to play the DPS, but it's all about the long mind games from Triumph to try and win out that particular point.
Now they get the same treatment. They only get a minute in their time bank to attack first and move on to second. Are they going to pull out something a little bit risque? It looks like Triumph are going to go for the same thing. Same old, Pharah with the Ashe. Maybe Phase 2 just needs to run the Widow to start off with. Use that grappling hook, try to take Faye or Izzy out of the air, and then use a speed boost to try and run into Triumph for them not to be able to get the res off.
Well, we did see Nishik on the backline sniping away, and then Onyx moved into the place where Faye's corpse would be, so that if Izzy tried to get the resurrection, he would be hacked and easily picked off. But thanks to some great presence of mind from Matman, he was actually warded away and couldn't get the hack when he needed.
Uh-oh. They're going to run into Faye. He's going to build this barrage up so fast, man.
Good eat on the dynamite.
Uh-oh. Support's isolated. Matman jumps in, separating the heals as well with that bubble. He goes extremely low and is actually going to be the first casualty. Onyx finding the kill. Now it's up to Faye and Pimamitsu to try and find a little bit extra. They end up killing off Murphy.
Oh, Izzy.
1-for-1 trade, but the resurrection from Izzy just leads him to death. Now they've got such lack of healing. Triumph just has to play back. Phase 2 can just play the attrition game now.
Harmony Orb and a Dream right here, Jaws. Nishik's forced into that side room, but he is going to have the healing of his Lucio. Izzy, he's going to take a while to get back. He swaps over now onto the Lucio instead so we can skate on back. 11 seconds remain for Phase 2. This needs to be their fight here and now.
Matman in trouble, same with Mystic. They're about half HP apiece right now. Faye on the back line, hasn't got that barrage just yet, but the Bob is available. Izzy comes back with a vengeance and takes out Pika. Bob gets knocked onto the health pack, which will just continue to heal him, by the way, as it does respawn, but he's in a bit of a weird position, which he can't be able to get out. Faye on the back line finds 3 kills with the barrage as well, and Awkward and Mystic are going to clean up. Triumph are going to hold first and go match point in the series.
Who said 3-3 as Meta? Triumph managing to play that one out perfectly. As he went for the risky res, he actually managed to bring Faye back in, and it seems like it was actually the right play there, even if Izzy did sacrifice himself, because Faye was thereafter unchallenged, and some great use of geometry by Triumph did mean that they only required the Harmony Orb for peeling, because they didn't reveal themselves at all.
Oh, that was a nice set of mines. It wasn't like directly on top of the Graviton Surge either. It was just off to the side, so like a few mines were in the grav, but then the exit, the retreat path was just completely denied, and you could see obviously the Lucio zipping out and he got killed.
It's either forward or back to spawn.
Yeah, it was really nice placement actually. Deserved play of the game for sure. Triumph 2-0 though. That's the scoreline. Phase 2 need to come back, potentially make this a 5-game series. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, the map choice will be in Phase 2's clutches, however, so we'll have to see what they want to go on to. We're going to take a short break, however. We'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, welcome back. This is Triumph versus FaZe 2. Right now in the series, 2-1 on Triumph's end. They have a match point ahead of them. Potentially taking the series right here, right now. It will be Junkertown as our next map, as it was FaZe 2's pick.
It was. Junkertown is something we haven't seen yet, Jules, so I'm excited to see what our teams want to bring out here. Of course, we could have a 3-3 clash, which is de rigueur for current meta. But this is also where snipers can thrive due to a huge lack of cover in some of the open fields, especially on the first point of Junkertown. And Junkertown is so, I'd say, defensively favored that it wouldn't be uncommon to see a stop on any of the 3 points at all, especially on first point. We see a lot of people get held there for such a long time. 4 minutes is a long time to take that car a very long way.
Yeah, I can imagine we're going to see something different out of Triumph. I want to say Ash again, and maybe Widowmaker, like
Bastion.
double long-range hit scan. Oh, Bastion. They got the comp to do it.
We know Awkward can aim, so...
Yeah, that's true. He did kind of tease the Bastion a little bit earlier on. Probably not, though. Bastion's just so easy to actually counter, especially at this kind of level. So,
yeah,
as much as we'd like Harry, probably not going to happen, mate.
I want to see the Omnic, dude. I want to see the Omnic, but I doubt it's going to happen. We do see a little bit of hovering Bastion until the lobby loads in, and then everyone will disappear. There they go.
Wow.
Maybe next time. Does it like phase 2? Actually, phase 2 are going to be starting off on the defense. Triumph will have picked to attack first because, of course, it was phase 2's map pick. We'll have to see what they're going to come out with. Still got 20 seconds to fill, and I actually love the color palette they've used for Junkertown. It's so autumnal. Or Australian, I guess.
That would have been a better word that most people probably actually know, Harry. I've
they can guess what autumnal is. They know the seasons.
Oh, well, I didn't think it was something to do with the seasons. I've actually locked myself out of the skybox now. I actually can't get back in. I don't know how I've done this.
Don't worry. If you press one of the F keys, once the players spawn, you'll go to their view and you'll be back inside.
Okay, and there we go.
We've rescued Jaws, who went into orbit. He doesn't know that autumnal is to do with autumn, and he also flew himself too far away from Australia, so magnets or something stopped him coming back.
Yeah, that was
crazy, dude. Magnets.
I actually went to go back and do it again, but I realized I probably shouldn't do it.
Stop it.
Go actually on the players themselves. Well, it's going to be quad tank actually for phase 2. Okay, so they're going to hold right up against the spawn doors. Mystic with the Bastion. I mean, if they suspect cheese, Bastion could be pretty good at actually just ripping through phase 2.
Yeah, it does look like Triumph are actually going to go for a 3-3 himself, so we're going to be lacking in the shotgun power of the Roadhog, and there is going to be more healing on the side of Triumph due to having that Brigida and the Moira as well. But also, we got to remember how good it is to have that Brigida on your side where she can get those stuns, she can lay down all that Inspire healing. Maybe King will have to get a lot of value out of this Roadhog to win this fight.
Uh-oh, there the Xayah barriers go. Matman doing a good job of just hacking away at the front line. He's going a little bit too far forward, though. Got to be careful. Like you said, Hog can do so much damage. If he gets a perfect right-click on your head at the perfect distance, that does so much with the additional pressure that's coming out from the D.Va as well. Coalescence used really early on. There's the
180 Shatter.
The Coalescence completely. King is sent to the ground, but another Shatter coming through as well. Mopey gets booped out of the way, so the charge doesn't actually land on Matman.
And that is going to be eventually the fight claimed by Triumph outside their spawn. But look at the time bank, Jules. A minute was claimed by phase 2 of Triumph's time bank, basically just to brawl out there. They have paid the price, and that Triumph did manage to leverage a huge amount of ults there. Matman's already 50% of the way towards his next shatter.
Awkward has the trance there, Harry. It doesn't matter. Because look at Nishik. He's 2%. He only just changed. He's got nothing. There's the grab. Self-destruct potentially as Mystic just earns it. Might not need it though as Nishik ends up going down.
Oh my gosh.
That's a big shatter though. Hits 4 people, but the B from Izzy to save the entirety of the team. A Graviton Surge comes out as well as that grab straight on top of their heads. Pika finds one. Another shatter as well, but Madman, I'm not even sure that actually connected with the ground. I think it got cancelled by the Brig. Awkward taking out Mopey, King trading Awkward, but it is all in Triumph's favor here. They got the man advantage as well as the main tank, and they have spawns as well. Madman going a little bit too far gone as Nishik ends up taking him back as he came back from the grave.
Favor actually interrupted Pika as he tried to summon his mech again, cancelling that ultimate, meaning he had to earn himself up to it again. He will actually respawn because of course he died as a small D.Va. Means he will get his mech back, and Triumph there once again, they were forced to brawl out for yet another minute, and they did gain some distance, but they invested so many ultimates there. FaZe 2 definitely playing this defense very well. They are once again just focusing entirely on the objective and allowing Triumph to just burn their time to try and force their way through FaZe 2's lines.
Well, now they're looking towards another grab. Onyx is only 30% away. Moopy tried to go through something a little cheeky, trying to find a backline pin. It's the support ultimate being used by Triumph. The rally is going to push them forwards. However, a Transcendence in response by Nishik. Pitsumitsu is going to go on the ground. He's only 4% away. They're going to have to kill him faster. He can send out the grab. Madman is going to fall. Are they just going to commit the Graviton Surge here in a potential just folly? They throw it in. It manages to catch two Pika. Well, no, complete eaten by Pika, sorry. That'll actually be a self-destruct right on top of FaZe 2's grab, but Everly managed to get away in time. Izzy's going to fall, and Pipimitsu had no shield to hide behind, and he ends up going down as well. 60 seconds remain from Triumph, but they haven't moved it past the first point yet.
Can you all stop feeding these grabs over to these divas? It's got to stop at some point. FaZe 2 invested so much to make that work, however, they barely have any ultimates left. Nishik's going to be the closest because he used his Transcendence so early to try and bait out some kind of disengage or counterattack from Triumph. And now Triumph are going to have to try and make this work with a singular ultimate, and that will be Mystic and his self-destruct. They're going to have to wait potentially for Matman to make an engagement here, maybe try and pin Moopy while that's in the air.
Mystic has got the self-destruct. Every single diva apparently is so good at launching the vanilla ones. They're gonna have to try and find a shield bash for the speed boosted, as well as a couple of particle barriers will only net him the DMEC. A nice shatter is gonna hit the main tank of FaZe 2 as King ends up falling as well. This could be the fight they were finally after Faye gets his 5th rally of the game. It feels like Triumph finally find the quick team wipe as FaZe 2 are sent back to spawn.
Doesn't feel like it's been 4 minutes, Jaws, but I talked about how long this first point is. Moopy's going to be ready to make another engagement. Pika's not going to be able to join the fight, though. Will they take the undermanned fight? Doesn't look like they will. They will actually just take a forward position instead and not allow Triumph to gain any space on the second point for 3 that they need to push through with only 2 minutes and 30 on the clock.
They didn't want to take the fight initially, but they will obviously take the fight at the doors. Why not? You are 3-3 after all. You might as well take fights in closed-up spaces, so Onyx can farm his grab quicker, and so can Pipimitsu. Pipimitsu a little bit further behind Onyx, however. Nice kill onto Faye. He was stunned, and then an instant whip shot to finish him off, and a nice pin as well as that door closed behind Matman. Mopi found a pin.
And that door closing, Jaws, is super important. That was a really well-timed engagement from FaZe 2. They backed off enough to allow the cut to move forward, just enough so that the door would begin to close behind Triumph from their attack. And what they did is they surged forward as that door was beginning to close, meaning that Triumph actually started disengaging and they got split in two. What in the world was that movie?
I do not know what that was. I didn't hear anybody.
That was a zoning shadow right there.
Yeah, don't come any closer, even though you're kind of on high ground anyway. Pipimitsu does have the grab. Everly dropping to low ground now to try and contest that payload. Transcendence, as well as that Graviton Surge thrown in. The self-destruct right on top. Awkward is going to absorb that as he is invincible during the Transcendence, but the rest of his team wasn't quite so lucky. Izzy and Faye end up falling as they scurry back to their spawn once again. 1 minute now remains again. FaZe 2 lining it up in this match point game for Triumph.
Such effective gravitons there from Onyx, making sure that Triumph were forced down onto the ground floor, couldn't leverage that high ground for long, especially when Awkward needed to use that Transcendence, which isn't very vertically mobile. They're chasing him up the high ground now.
Oh my goodness! Awkward goes down already. The beat came out as well to make sure they survived the entire fight without losing anybody. Faye was just kind of left wondering what happened. A Brig just swung through his team and she got killed.
And they actually got the D-Make there onto Mystic and forced him to have to reset himself. He couldn't change over to go to another hero and then get his mech back because he had this self-destruct ready to go, and we know how valuable they can be. Triumph up against the wall right here. FaZe 2 want to force a 5th map.
They literally are up against the wall, Harry. There's the stun. Oh, nice grab, though, onto 5 people. But Mopi's just swinging away.
Mystic!
Beautiful self-destruct. 3 kills for Mystic. Could they stabilize? I'm not entirely sure. Nishik is still just farming people. Mystic is going to get demec'd. Someone is on the point, however. They're going to need to quickly fast reset as the Lucio is continuing to push the car. Izzy's taken out. Overtime is there, but a grab is going to be used as a zoning tool. The Wrecking Ball only just makes it in time, but there's lacking numbers now for the side of Triumph. Fast going man mode on Awkward, dunking his head with a couple of Sound Blaster shots as Pipimitsu makes it back onto the point as well. He ends up getting there, Harry, but there's no healing and only tanks left on the point. Mystic is booped away. OT ticks through as Izzy is just in the corner and gets deleted. Faye tried to get back to the point in time, but phase 2 holding them off just after first is Nishik. 3 kills in the preceding fight after Mystic got a triple kill with the self-destruct.
Nishik just clutched up right there, just headshot after headshot, so much damage from Zenyatta. You can see why this hero has been in meta for so long, because you can just deal so much damage when you have the skills to make it work, and Nishik certainly does right there. Phase 2, get a good hold onto Triumph, but we saw, Jaws, how hard it can be to take first point, and now the onus is on Phase 2 to match Triumph's success. But I'd say this is a pretty clear win condition for them. They know exactly how far they need to go, and that means that they do know that they can potentially make the gamble of coming out on a Bastion and trying to just get the momentum to roll through first point, because any distance here will be a boon to them if they're not stopped in the first fight.
This is match point for Triumph too. Phase 2 turning it up to Phase 3. They're in their final form, Harry. Stopping them after this.
Let's hope this map isn't Phase 3.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. You can't. I was just thinking about a potential draw. Obviously, if the payload doesn't move after it's been capped, you can draw it.
No, you can't draw because Izzy pushed it a little bit.
Yeah, because Izzy pushed it a little bit, but it is possible. I've actually drew a Junkertown map before. It's pretty insane.
Did both teams not push at all?
No. It was after second point.
Yeah.
And as soon as it capped, obviously it opened the doors and it kind of like well, it didn't move at all as soon as the point actually got capped. And it's actually 0.3 meters you need to move it. The other team needs to move it in order to actually find a W there. Both 3-3, by the way, coming out the gate.
Indeed, both teams are going to be running this Zenyatta as well. Madman finds himself on the cart and finds himself in the grave.
Oh, okay. Nishik find the first kill. And Missy is going to get demeched as well. Well,
another one. He starts as he means to go on, Jaws.
Yeah, okay.
Look at Izzy.
Just taking over the game.
Oh, another one.
Izzy's like, nope.
Another one.
Trying to get out of the way as fast as he can. Couple of clicks on the head, Harry. Nishik, he's doing pretty well. He's really turning up the gears already.
Yeah, Moopy also has a 60% ultimate advantage when it comes to building up towards that Earth Shadow, which could be a huge tool in the next fight. Already, the cart is halfway here. At this point, Phase 2 or Triumph on their offense had used about 2.5 minutes.
Going to a 5th map, Harry. I'm telling you right here, you can't end in a draw. There's no way.
I'll tie breakers in the pool, by the way.
Okay. Thanks for the heads up. Nishik, I'm looking at this boy Nishik. He's in the back line, laying down the damage. There's the shadow from Mopey, went completely wide. And now Matman has potentially an advantage here with a little bit of extra ult charge. Nishik using that early transcendence to push everybody forward. And Faye is actually in the back line. The Graviton Surge coming out from Phase 2, as well as that self-destruct right on top. That will be the kill onto Awkward as the pin did land from Mopey, and Matman tried to find the same. The Graviton gets Surge again by Pika. You cannot let this man eat any more grabs.
Is there an OB skin for Pikachu? Because I think he may well have earned it. Izzy's hiding. They're going to find him soon enough. Oh, yep, he was hiding in the bushes, but was eventually found out.
I mean, what are you doing there? What is your game plan, Izzy?
Well, it's to stall for time, because there's a potential now that there could be a Triumph 5-man engage, I guess. They do have the potential to try and clutch it up with the self-destruct, but it looks like they're actually going to seed over this point. And, well, it's a mountain, Jaws. It is a mountain. 4 minutes and 30 seconds are in the time bank, and 29 meters stand between Phase 2 and Map 5.
These spawns are so far away from Triumph as well. Phase 2 looking to clutch out this W. Mystic has that self-destruct. They haven't got a grabbed combo with, but they got the shadow coming up very soon. There's no potential pinch to try and remove the shield, but everybody just scurries behind the pillars. Mopey ends up going down as well as Matman just goes ham in the back line. Fast falls also. Nibimusu is going to get traded as King manages to find the kill, but Nishik turning up a gear once again. He's in 6th, 7th, 8th. I'm not sure how many gears his car actually has. It's maybe too many. The shadow hits the floor. Perfect counter shadow from Mopey to stop the charge. There will be a beat coming through from Faz as well as the grab gets thrown out. Nishik finding 1, 2, 3 kills as Mystic tries to touch the cart, but it's too late. Phase 2 with the clutch turnaround on Junkertown secure the game and bring this to a map 5.
Who is this man? It's Nishik. He is going absolutely clutch, and I hope he can keep it up for Nepal, because that's going to be incredibly competitive. But you can't ask for more from your Zenyatta, and that was also some really good heads-up play as well from Mupi. He's managed to save King from being pinned with that counter shadow, knocking down Matman midway through his charge. He knew there was no chance of that being blocked while Matman was charging as well. You can't bring up your shield.
Nishik's getting robbed left, right, and center. He didn't even get a card at the end, and he didn't get play of the game. How?
I don't know, dude.
Nishik's popping off, bro.
MVP.
I don't understand. MVP. He's definitely my MVP right now. That is for sure. Nepal will be our tiebreaker back. Obviously, you mentioned that a little bit earlier on.
Yeah,
someone in chat said someone that needs to win.
Yeah, it is.
It's going to be Nepal. So this map's really interesting because we've seen so much variation across the kind of metas we've had, especially coming from EU. It was a lot of quad tank, especially in season 1, and then people took a little bit of inspiration from Korean contenders, where the Koreans were running it was kind of like a quad tank, but then they had Reaper in there as well, and this was very old Reaper too. That would only be run on Village because of how close and confined the space was inside the point. But Nepal can open it up to Orisa Hog as well. So Triumph have a really good opportunity here to come out the door against FaZe with something quite surprising. We've already seen the boosted comp with the Pharah and the Ashe, but I want to know if they've got anything hidden up their sleeve.
Maybe they will. They're going to have to bring it out here. Both of these teams are vying for their first win. We'll have to see. Best of 3? Yes, best of 3.
I mean, that's how Control works.
Nah, man, we're going old comp style.
Is he a little bit confused? Had too many Nishik orbs, just straight into his skull.
Yeah,
a little bit of concussion.
Orbs to the brain.
Yeah,
feeling a little bit of discord.
Yes, I mean, it used to be best of 5, and that, by the way, can we just think back to when Control was best of 5 back in comp? That was the most frustrating game mode there was, honestly. You get to 2 wins, and then the enemy team just gets 3 straight up, and you're like, I just spent the last 40 minutes losing. It honestly, the change that they made from best of 3 to best of 5 was probably one of the best changes they've ever done to comp.
I was more frustrated when it was best of 5. We lose the first round and okay, I'm going top.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Cool.
We lose first round, but we've got potentially 4 rounds. Calm down.
Nah, it's over.
It's over, boys. And then you played the same map a couple of times as well. It was, oof. I'm glad it's best of 3. Is all I can say. That's all I can say. We will start out our map being Sanctum. So yeah, this is what I was saying about the Hog and Orisa. So I'm gonna say Triumph could really just pull something out of the bag. Maybe they come out with. We've seen Pharah run on this map a little bit, but it's not optimal just because of the low ceilings. But then again, it is super hard to actually get in sight lines without you being spotted as well. So that's kind of good for the Pharah. Long range sight lines too for the Ashe, potentially a Widow. McCree is also pretty good on this map too. But we'll have to wait and see what they want to run out with. Going to choose comps in just a second.
Yeah, speaking of the sightlines, there's always the possibility of the snipers for Hanzo and the Widowmaker can have pretty good sightlines here, especially if they get up on the pillars that sort of surround the point. We do often see mixes between dive-based compositions like a Winston and a Diva, or the, like you said before, the Orisa Hog compositions, which try to leverage the big pit of death. ZP likes to say Mondada's gold is down there. A load of people are going to find out if they're up against an Orisa, but we're going to have to worry more about Lucio. But we're looking at what we are currently faced up against. It's going to be 3-3 versus 3-3 with all Winston's leading.
Yeah, you can't really go down that far either. I did try, but I don't want to get stuck again. I thought that was the sound of a Junkrat. I got kind of scared there, but it's just Nishik firing in orbs left, right, and center. A little bit quicker were FaZe 2 to actually claim the high ground. They're going to have an advantage in that sense.
And access to the health pack.
Oh boy, easy. That was dicing with death. Tried to find a cheeky boot, but just ended up sacrificing most of his health bar. Point does unlock, however. Nice leap actually from Mupi into the back line. He is going to get surrounded and instantly killed. That shield bash denying him so much movement and momentum.
A good disengage there from Triumph will mean they now have a man advantage. Batman's going to go deep. He's got his eyes on King. Will they be able to get the stun and the follow-up, Jaws?
Not entirely sure, because King is just going to go down. That Tesla coil damage doing a lot of work. Same with the Zenyatta too. Discord and a couple of swings from Faye. Does end his life. Mubi is back in the action, but 2 members of his team are already dead. Baz just trying to find something rather cheeky off the edge, but no boops found. That will be the point cap for the moment. Going to Triumph.
It's just as well that in this monastery I would be able to say that the warrior's greatest weapon is patience, and that's exactly what Triumph exhibited there. They waited for Mupi to make a mistake, go in too deep. He saw red, he thought he smelled blood in the water, but all he smelled was a trap being laid by Triumph. And now they're ready to lock down any points of ingress with the cleave damage that Madman can lay down. He's got the Discord Orb, but he can cleanse that away, make sure Awkward can't lay down extra damage.
Both Zenyatas have their Transcendences available. Zaya's as well, both have grabs. Primal Rages only in favor of Triumph for the time. Murphy jumps in once again. Oh, the boot! The grab gets thrown out. What are you doing, Onyx?
What is this?
He got booped. I'm actually choking a little bit. Onyx
Remember me!
He threw out the grab, and Mystic says cheers and just eats it. What is going on? There's a grab as well coming through from phase 2. Onyx's one actually connects with people though. Oh, Pika. Couldn't quite eat that one this time. Continuing to hold though, Triumph for the 50%.
Maybe up against phase 2, but Mystic is far from phased. And now about 2 fights remain for phase 2 to try and take this back. And they've lost their primary offensive tool. They don't have that Graviton Surge anymore. Pibmitsu won't either. Pika's going to have to try and make something work with this self-destruct if he wants to claim this. But already, Madman caught out on his own, needs to get a disengage.
Self-destructs have been traded. Izzy only just manages to get around the corner, but Mystic actually kills off Pika before the remet can come through. Triumph laid down the beat, and King suffers for it. But still phase 2 punishing the front line of Triumph as Madman just finds himself in no man's land. They can trade fairly equally though, Harry, 85%. As we do see another boop onto Onyx. No!
Well, he did manage to kill himself.
With
so,
the speed boost, Harry. Oh my goodness.
He was actually hanging out on the bookcase behind him so that he could get that boop onto Onyx, but I assume that he actually used a mortar on his own feet so that the game would actually count it as carrying his own momentum and denying Izzy the ult charge he would have got from killing a full health Zyra in one hit. So slightly smart from Onyx, even if it was slightly dumb to get caught out there.
He tried, man.
It was dumb smart.
Is that a thing?
It is now.
It is now. Uh-oh, Primal Rage. That health bar's gonna get melted. You've got to be careful, Moby. In fact, yeah, Discord Orb and a couple of orbs to his noggin. That'll be Awkward taking that kill. That'll be phase 2 now, happening in just a moment. Onyx, don't get this one eaten, and please don't fall in the pit of doom once again. He has that grab, but Awkward has that answering Transcendence if needed. They are 92%, and the grab does end up landing. A Transcendence to match, though, however. Nishik is going to throw out his 2, so the rest of phase 2 are going to be kept alive. Not going to be available for this one, though, in that perfectly placed self-destruct.
Oh,
my! Mystic with his 3rd triple kill with a self-destruct of this series. They managed to find the recap at 95%, Harry.
They bend yours, they do not break. They knew they could give up a little bit of positioning on the point with that much percentage gain and then re-engage. Pibmitsu, that time he read Pika like a book. Pika was basically bathing him in the defense matrix. He was getting a free defensive bath. Second that was gone, laid down that defense matrix. He knew exactly that was where Pika was going to disengage to as well when he was vulnerable because the matrix wasn't there, and he flew straight into the Graviton Surge. A good read from Peeb this time. Mystic, don't play with me. There we go.
Yeah.
Wanted to just hand over the Zaya.
Like, we shouldn't talk about comps that haven't come out the gate yet, Harry, but it is 10 seconds. Pibmitsu on the Mei. This is another map as well. We've seen, and what we mentioned yesterday, Windstrike don't really know how to play back in EU. Contenders couldn't really find a place in the meta of 3-3. Ran this exact comp, apart from the Zenyatta being there, not the Moira. And Mei Ghost just was so feared in EU Contenders that it was kind of scary going up against them and prepping for them as well. Do you prep for an entire roster of teams that only practice 3-3, or do you prep for one that goes with the Mei? We'll see what they can do as the point unlocks in 10 seconds.
Not the ideal bisection of phase 2 there, who have managed to get themselves on the point. This is not what Triumph wanted. They wanted that control so that if Mupi engaged, they could isolate him. Going to try put up that wall behind. They are going to find him.
There is a small gap though, Harry, but it doesn't matter. That pin landed, and that's all that they needed. Mei jumps into a little ice block of safety, and now is just playing behind Madman's shield. That's all they need to do. The point unlocks as they just run through the team of phase 2 now. All they need to do is focus down one person. Two Brigitte is having a little toss on in the sidelines as the coalescence opens up and finishes off the fight.
Pika still managing to contest. I would actually prefer a compositional change here from Triumph where they use the Zenyatta instead of the Moira. I feel like having that Discord Orb basically makes it far easier to guarantee the picks when you're trying to isolate people using the Mei wall. But this is exactly what you want when you're running the Mei in your composition, because you want to have control of the objective and you want phase 2 to be forced to move into you rather than you forced to move into them. That's not the ideal bisection right there. Zero effect from that wall.
Now they have to just rush on in. There's the Graviton Surge. Just got every single member apart from the Moira. Oh dear. Right on the chopping block. Yet Mei doesn't stand a chance. Nishik getting his name on the board once again. Our Blizzard is very far away as well. And like you said, that actually helped with the Blizzard charge rate too, because discorded targets take extra damage, meaning more ult charge for them as well.
And I'm not a fan of Pibmitsu going into a block there in the Graviton Surge. He did actually provide a backboard for the charge of Mupi to make sure Matman would be given all of that burst that was required. Meant that also when Mupi finished that charge, he would still be able to swing without making any more commute.
Rally into the beat, into the shatter. It actually lands 2 people who are pinned up against that wall. Nishik using the Transcendence to keep them alive. A double charge from the Reinhardts, don't quite find anything. And Awkward's actually on the back line of phase 2. A Graviton Surge caught on the side of the wall. There's no follow-up though after that. Awkward was the only one firing into it. They used that wall to isolate people onto the point now as Faz gets taken out. Pika's frozen body gets cleansed off as that barrier came in from Onyx, and the self-destruct to try and get the remake. There's the Snowstorm coming out, the Blizzard catching 3 people on the point. That's what we wanted to see from Pibmitsu. They managed to clear out the rest of phase 2, and Triumph are going to be able to find the recap.
And you can see why Mei is so common on this point, because it's so the point is basically a Blizzard hotspot. It is around the same sort of size. Only Pika was got outside that, had to just throw in the defense matrix towards his frozen teammates and hope that they weren't going to get killed, but there's too much damage that can be given through the defense matrix, like the swinging, like for Zarya beams, and it's going to be a quick engage here from phase 2. Don't want to get caught out yet again. It's going to be a disengage from Triumph onto the point. Want to catch out Mupi as he moves in. They want to isolate him and get that quick attack, but Mupi's coming around behind!
Behind! Oh my goodness, but gets instantly stunned by Faye. That was perfect timing from Awkward too, using that Transcendence so nobody went down. The Mei wall isolating the rest of phase 2 as well. 2 members dead now for phase 2. Faz is going to follow, and the rest of them are going to have to go for a quick reset, as there's probably only 1.5 fights left.
Oh, good reaction there from Awkward and Faye, managing to save everyone from the Mupi out of nowhere. But one fight stands between Triumph and claiming their first win here. Phase 2 can go winless in terms of series if they do lose out on our tiebreak here. They do have a big tool. It will be Onyx, but let's not forget, there is no D.Va. He cannot have his Graviton eaten. Meanwhile, Pibmitsu can have his eaten up pretty easily.
Not this eaten this time. Neither one of them are eaten at all. Both Transcendence is used. Oh my goodness, that's a 5-man shatter, but Matman just takes the game into his own hands. That wall is going to block off the self-destruct. OT is there. The rest of phase 2 are already dead. Pika jumps straight back onto the point, but it's too late. That perfect shatter from Mupi was not enough to secure them the point, and Triumph take the game and the series 3-2.
And that was a super smart use of the wall from Pibmitsu. Not this time trying to isolate people, but he made sure that Mystic could just shoot his grav at the wall, because it blocked off Pika's line of sight, and he knew that the other team would be on the other side of it. That meant Pika had no chance to eat up that Graviton Surge, and guaranteed. See, there's the backboard that I was talking about as well.
Oh, that is perfect shatter. Moby earned himself the play of the game, but unfortunately ends up falling just short of taking the series. Triumph, though, such clutchness at the end. That 5-man shatter, but the Mei just is so frustrating to play against, because as soon as that Blizzard gets worked up as well, you can combine it with the grab to almost instantaneously end the team fight also. That's the closest game we've had all weekend so far.
Yeah, that's the closest game that we have seen. Our first tiebreaker here in North American Contenders Trials, and Triumph have put themselves one step closer to qualifying for Contenders proper later on in the spring.
Contenders proper?
Yeah, Contenders proper, man.
Is that
we
what
love Contenders proper.
Yeah, this feels good. I mean, right now, Triumph, they're going to be on a massive high. They need to look forward to, obviously, next week and look at their opponents. They're going to have a long time to now rest, recuperate, plus, obviously, look at the VODs that they've look at the games they've already played, plus against their opposition next week as well. Obviously, there's still 2 matches to come as well. ZP and Avast will be taking those also, so that's going to be fairly exciting. So make sure you don't go anywhere. But what a series from phase 2. This looked like a different version of Triumph as well from what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, maybe Triumph we sort of underestimated because they were going up against Square One, who we now seem to have figured out are an incredibly dominant team. I imagine they're going to be competing with Chicken Contendies for those top spots. I have to see if they will do that, but you will see the other 4 teams that are in our pool after our break, and well, it will be ZP and Avast to get to cast them.
Yeah, I'm still not entirely sure. I like the word contendies. Makes me shiver a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, man. Chicken
Sounds delicious
contendies
to me.
It does sound pretty delicious. In fact, I'm fairly hungry. And with that, we're going to sign off and we're going to hand over to ZP and Avast, who are going to take the next 2 series. We'll see you guys very soon.